children. Stay at home, stay safe, stay healthy. This is the first time I am teaching you physics. So you have to know that how I teach, and you have to adapt my method of teaching. Alright? Already I said it in the audio I have sent to you, that when you will sit to watch the video, just sit with a copy and a pen. Alright? Listen to the lecture, the lesson I am teaching. Alright? Try to understand. Not only that, point wise, by putting asterisks this way, you have to write down whatever taught. Alright? Don't think that this is only for the virtual classes. This is the rule of physics class in real class also. Alright? When we will meet after post COVID-19, then you have to follow the same thing in my physics class. Alright? Because everybody is having the physics book with you. Alright? So you can just go through the book. There is no need of the teacher. Alright? But if you just sit with the book to listen to the lecture, then your concentration will be within the book only, and you will not understand the physics, the concepts of physics. So that's why this is the rule of physics class, that you are not allowed to open the book. Alright, so you will listen to the lecture, you will try to understand, and not only that, you should note down whatever taught in the class. Alright, I know very well that you are having the physics book with you, but why always I advise my students, I instruct. Not only that, I order my student that you have to write down whatever taught in the class, because I think that for that what will happen, whenever you are listening and writing the same thing, and that too point wise, alright, in the notebook, then learning becomes better and easier. Alright, so in the first lecture only I am saying all this instruction. From the next lecture I will not give you an instruction, but you have to make the practice of maintaining the physics notebook this way. Alright, once again I am telling, just listen to the lecture, then important points you have to note down by putting asterisks. Again, one asterisk you will write down the important point that you are supposed to learn from the particular chapter. Alright. Okay girls, now I am starting the first lesson, that is matter. Alright, now what is matter? Clear? Matter means which is having mass and which occupy space. Alright, so just consider the example that you are sitting in a room. Alright, so you are sitting on the chair. So you see the chair is having some mass. Mass is what? Amount of matter present in a body. Alright, so you see the chair is having some mass, chair is occupying some space. Clear? So the chair is the matter. Clear? Now, suppose there is a bottle of water beside you. Alright, now the water you are considering within the bottle, it has some mass, it is occupying some space, so it is matter. If I talk about you, alright, you are having mass, you are also occupying some space, so you are also matter. Is that clear? So, what is matter? Anything that has mass and occupies space is known as matter. That I have written here. Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. Alright? Now, if you break a matter and go on breaking, then ultimately you will reach to the smallest particle. Alright, that smallest particle of a matter is known as the atom. Alright, this atom, it is the smallest particle, but atom in some cases they may exist independently, and in some cases atom cannot exist independently. Alright, when you will grow up, when you will learn about different kind of gases, those who are monoatomic matter, in that case mono means one. Alright, in that case atom means if you consider the molecule of that particle, then it has one atom. Alright, in these monoatomic matters, atom can exist independently, but in other cases, atom cannot exist independently. That's why, what is atom? Atom is the smallest unit of an element. Here, you see, atom is what? Smallest unit of an element which may or may not have an independent existence. Alright, so just remember that which atom have the independent existence, can exist independently, that is for monoatomic substances. Alright, then, so if the atom cannot exist separately, independently, then what happens actually? Atoms, they just join together, combine together, and they form molecule. Alright, molecule is the smallest unit which can exist independently. Alright, molecule do not need anybody. Molecules can always just exist independently. Clear? So that's why molecules is the smallest unit of matter. You see, just understand it. I said atom is the smallest unit of matter, but I said this also, the atom may or may not exist independently. Alright, means what? Atom cannot stay alone. Now all of you, most of you are alone at home, isn't it? Single child. You are at home, single at home. Then sometimes it happens, some can stay at home without any friend, without any cousin, without anybody, nicely. And some are there, some children they cannot exist. Some are there, those who are the bookworms, they love to study, they love to read different kind of books. They will see that they do not need the company of their friend or cousin or anything. They just can stay alone at home and just exist independently. Alright, so that is the meaning, that they exist independently. They do not need the company of other friend, other cousins. Clear? So this kind of atom, they just exist independently, but most of the atoms, they cannot exist independently. So what they do during this lockdown time, what they are doing, Mummy, I am getting bored, so I want to go out and meet my friend, and then I want to play with her, then I want to talk, means what? They cannot exist independently. So like that, most atoms, they cannot exist independently. So that's why atom is the smallest unit which can exist or may not exist independently. But what about the molecule? Molecules are what I said, when atoms combined with each other, 2 atoms, 3 atoms or more than 3 atoms, they are combined with each other and form the molecule. Alright, but remember, molecule, they can exist independently. They do not need the company of any friend, anyone. Clear? So this is the basic difference between atom and molecule. Atom is the smallest unit which may or may not exist independently, but molecule is the smallest unit which always can exist independently. Clear to everyone? Now, if you consider matter, inside matter, we generally describe matter in terms of molecules only because they can exist independently. So, if you consider, just there is no space here, I am just showing it here. Suppose that I have taken a piece of matter, then these are the molecules. Alright. So, molecules, you see, when they are staying, then there is a space, gap between the 2 molecules. Alright. So, the space between the molecules are known as the intermolecular space. Now, remember, physics is a very nice subject. It means if you just know the meaning of the English term, then only you can understand what is the meaning of that term in physics also. You see here, what is the name? Intermolecular space. Intermolecular means what? In between 2 molecules, space. Okay, so the space between 2 molecules, between the molecules inside a matter is known as intermolecular space. Alright, now when all the molecules they are staying at within the same matter, then they attract each other. All right, then only they can stay, isn't it? That you also know that if you fight with anyone, then you cannot stay with that person, isn't it, for lifelong. But here, when the molecules, if you are considering, they attract each other with a force, that's why they are staying together. So the force of attraction acting between the molecules of a substance is called intermolecular force of attraction. Is that clear? Although here the definition, the statement I have written in a different way, but you can write down this also. So what is intermolecular force of attraction? Molecules of a substance attract each other by a force known as there is no space, that's why I have written it short, but you do not write, you write it the full form. You write the full form. By a force known as intermolecular force of attraction. Now, I have said about the intermolecular force of attraction. Alright, what is that? The force of attraction acting between the molecules of a substance is called intermolecular force of attraction. Alright, so you see that we can have molecules of the same substance also, or we can have molecules of different substances also. Clear? So, when we consider the force of attraction between molecule of the same substance, alright, then that force of attraction is known as force of cohesion. You see, force of cohesion, C-O-H-E-S-I-O-N. So, what is force of cohesion? Force of cohesion is the force of attraction acting between the molecules of the same substance. Clear? Now, if you consider the molecules of different substance, then the force of attraction acting between the molecules of different substances are called the force of adhesion. So, another kind of force of attraction is force of adhesion, right? So, there are two kinds of force of attraction, force of cohesion and force of adhesion. Adhesion terms when it comes, when it is the force of attraction between molecules of a different substance. Alright. Now, this force of cohesion and force of adhesion is very interesting thing. You know that you unknowingly you apply in your day-to-day life every day. Now, this is your experience. You have said that if you take a glass of water, alright, you take water in a glass, clear? And then you throw the water. Then you will see that a certain amount of glass molecules, they just stick to the walls of the glass. I hope you have observed this. Yes or not? But if you take mercury in a glass, alright, now you just consider a thermometer. Thermometer everybody is having at home, and you have seen that mom generally use it while checking the fever, isn't it? So you will see that if you consider the mercury in a glass, then mercury never stick to the walls of the glass. Alright, so here we are applying the concept of force of cohesion and force of adhesion. Alright, when you are considering glass and water, then water, among the water molecules, what is acting? Force of cohesion. Alright, and among the water molecule and glass molecule, what is acting? Force of adhesion. Clear? Now, in this particular case, you know what happens? That force of cohesion is bigger than force of adhesion between the glass molecule and water molecule. Alright? Force of adhesion is bigger than force of cohesion between the water molecule. So, what happens? Water molecule sticks to the glass. But in case of mercury, what happened? The force of cohesion is bigger than force of adhesion. So what happens? Mercury never sticks to the glass. Alright. So these are the practical application of the concept of force of cohesion and force of adhesion. Alright. Now, next is, if you consider a matter, I have already given you the example. the room you are sitting, or if you consider yourself, if you consider the chair on which you are sitting, then these are all solid. Okay, matters, it can exist in mainly 3 states, alright, but actually matter can exist into 5 states. As you are in junior classes, you have to know only the 3 states, alright. What are the 3 states? Matter can exist: solid, liquid and gas. So if you consider the chair on which you are sitting, then you see that is the chair is the solid state. Clear? Now if you consider water within the bottle, then water is the liquid state. Clear? Now within your room air is there, that's why you are breathing, isn't it? So the air you are breathing, air is the gaseous state of the matter. Clear? So matter may exist in 3 main cases: solid, liquid and gas. There are 2 more states that I have written here, that if you can remember, well and good. Cannot remember, there is no problem. Another is known as the plasma state. Another is known as the Bose-Einstein condensates. Alright, this Bose-Einstein, these are the name of renowned scientist. Clear? Now, so if you consider the states of matter, how many states of matter are there? I said solid, liquid and gas. Now out of that liquid and gas, you know that liquid and gas can flow from one place to other, isn't it? That's why liquid and gas, they are having one common name, that is fluid. Alright, what is fluid? Fluid means which can flow. So solid can flow? No, solid cannot flow, but liquid and gas can flow. That's why liquid and gas together is known as fluid. Now, as I said you already, that we are having 3 states of, mainly 3 states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. Alright, so one by one we have to know about all the 3 states. In case of solid, what happened? Molecules, they are very close to each other. Is that clear? So if one day I am saying that I will take 8A and 8B both the section together, and if I say that all of you sit together in one section, then what will happen? You will sit very close to each other, isn't it? Almost, there is no space between 2 girls. Alright, then that is considered just like the molecules in a solid are. Means in a solid, molecules are very tightly packed. Clear? Tightly packed means, here if I show you, that as if there are no gap only. Hardly any space is there between the consecutive molecule. Clear? Then it is the solid molecule. So, as the molecules are very tightly packed, as the molecules are very close to each other, so immediate conclusion what you can make, that intermolecular space between the molecules in solid is minimum. Alright, least. Intermolecular space is least in case of solid. Alright. Now, solid, you know that is the definition of solid only, the states of matter which is having definite size, shape and definite volume, that is considered as the solid state. Alright. So, solid are having definite size, definite shape and definite volume. Clear? Now, why they are having all these on definite size, shape and volume? Because their molecules are rigid. Alright, what is the meaning of the English term rigid? R-I-G-I-D. Rigid means not at all ready to accept any change. Isn't it? So, rigid molecules of the solid are rigid. What does it mean? That it is very difficult to change the size and shape of the molecule of solid. Clear? So, molecules of a solid are very rigid. Clear to everybody? And that's why the solid molecules, they are having some definite shape, definite volume and definite size also. Another property of the solid state is that if you consider that molecules are very close to each other, why they are very close to each other? When you go close to one friend, when you are having the force of attraction more, isn't it? So in case of molecules of a solid, the force of attraction, intermolecular force of attraction is strongest, alright, is maximum. Clear? Another thing is that solid molecules, they cannot move. Alright, they cannot move, they cannot leave their places. Clear? In presence of a teacher, when you are sitting, just you consider in the real physics class, I am teaching and you are sitting. So you are not allowed to move, isn't it? You have to sit only in your place. Then you are behaving like a solid molecule. So solid molecule never move their never leave their places and cannot move around. But solid molecule, what they can do, they can vibrate. Alright, vibration already in 6th standard you have studied. Means if you consider, this is my, just consider my finger is a solid molecule, so they can vibrate, they can move from to and fro on the left and right or any direction. It can have a to and fro motion. Is that clear? So solid molecules, they do not leave their position, they cannot move around, but they can move. What kind of movement they can have? They can have only the vibrational motion. Solid molecules can vibrate about their main position. Clear? Now, so I have discussed 5 points. Then coming to liquid. Liquid means what? The state which is not having any definite shape, but they are having the definite volume. Volume is constant. Definite volume they are having, but they are not having definite shape. So in case of liquid, what happens? That liquid molecules are not very tightly packed like the solid molecules. Clear? So if you consider, you see here, these are the solid molecules. So if I consider the liquid molecules, then liquid molecules, what happens? The distances among the molecules, that is bigger than that of solid molecules. Clear? So the liquid molecules are not very tightly packed. Clear? First point. Second point, that intermolecular space between the liquid molecules are moderate. Moderate in the sense that it is greater than that of solid but less than that of gas. Clear? So that's why liquid have definite volume but they do not have definite shape, and liquid molecules are not very rigid also, unlike the solid molecules. Clear? And liquid molecules, they can move, they can leave their place and they can move. Just like, consider this example. Suppose in the physics class I am not teaching, so what I said that today I will not teach. So but sometimes what you do, the naughty one, what they do, they leave their place and go to some other place, isn't it? So behaving like a liquid molecules. But here you see that girl leaving her place but allowed to move within the classroom, not allowed to go out of the classroom. Understood? So liquid molecules are also like that. How they can move? They can leave their place, they can move around, but they can move around within the liquid. Clear to everybody? So these are all the characteristics of the liquid molecule. Then the third state of matter is gas. What is gas? Which do not have, it is neither have the definite volume or definite shape. Clear? Why it is so? Because the gas molecules are very loosely packed. Means the gas molecules are like this. Anywhere, any way they can sit. Means during the time of recess, if Sister Alzira is saying that you stay within the classroom, then what you do? You stay, sit any way, any manner, isn't it? So that then you behave like the gas molecules. So gas molecules are not at all tightly packed, they are loosely packed. Alright, so intermolecular space between the gas molecules are more. So as the intermolecular space is more, what does it mean? Intermolecular force of attraction among the gas molecules is minimum, very weak. Alright, now the gas molecules, they are non-rigid. Alright, so it is easy to change the shape of the gas molecule. Clear? And gas molecules, they have any kind of motion. They can leave their position, and not only that, they may not stay within the container. If they are allowed, if they get the chance, they will come out. Alright, like you only. That whenever any teacher is not there and anything, nobody is there, then you are having, some of you, not all, some of you are having the tendency to move out of the room also. Then you behave like a gas molecule. Clear? So, that's why I have written on the whiteboard the differences between the solid, liquid and gas. So, if you write down all the points this way, then what will happen if in the exam comes, the question comes that write down the differences, then you can handle the question. Or if it comes, write down the characteristics of any states of matter. Just like write down the characteristics of the liquid state. Then what you can do? All these points for liquid, you can write down as answer. Alright? So that's why everyone note down this way the differences between solid, liquid and gas. So you will be able to learn the differences between the three states, as well as if the question comes what are the characteristics of the solid, liquid and gas, you can just separate them and can handle the answer. Alright. So what is the first point? Solid molecules are tightly packed, and means, oblique means, it is the meaning that molecules are tightly packed, oblique least intermolecular space. Then for liquid, molecules are less tightly packed, oblique intermolecular space is moderate. This is the meaning, intermolecular space is moderate, meaning of this first sentence. For gas, molecules are loosely packed and intermolecular space is maximum. For second difference, intermolecular forces are strongest in case of solid, intermolecular forces are moderate in case of liquid, and intermolecular forces are weakest in case of gas. Alright, then third point, solids have fixed shape and size, but it is having a definite volume also. And liquids have a definite volume but not have a fixed shape. It always take the shape of the container, you know from your day-to-day life. And for gas they are neither having definite shape nor having definite volume. Then fourth point, molecules are rigid, and for liquid, molecules are not very rigid, but they are not non-rigid also, and in case of gas, molecules are non-rigid. Pause. Now last point of difference, molecules in case of solid, they do not move, okay, they only vibrate about their mean position, and in case of liquid, molecules can move around within the liquid, and in case of gas, molecules move around freely and they spread out and occupy whatever space is available. Alright, that's why if you just open suppose you have taken gas within a cylinder, alright, the moment you will open the cylinder, you will see that the gas will occupy the entire room where the cylinder is kept. Alright, this is the meaning, that they spread out and occupy whatever space is available. Stop.